Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Andrew.
And I'm Scott.
And this week we're back. I'm back from space, and I'm ready to talk about some conclusions that we kind of. I guess we jumped the gun on doing episodes on WandaVision and Falcon the Winter Soldier, but they were relevant at the time, and
I would like to think it was just our excitement about the shows that have
yeah.
brought these things forward. And now we have to, like I said last week, we have to get better at actually doing the conclusions.
Or is it by design?
One will never know.
There will always be a part two for the tail end of all these stories. But here we are to talk about the conclusions and just some of our thoughts about how they're tied to the greater MCU. I think we don't have to talk too much on WandaVision. We did talk a bit about that conclusion, I think, in another episode as well. But what I really enjoy is how these shows really tie into the MCU. They actually feel like they matter. It's not just some kind of little side story or like other previous comic or spin-off shows where it's just kind of like how do you put it? It's just a very ancillary tie to the material. It's like, oh, like Netflix, like the Battle of New York, like
the event.
That's about as close to the MCU as we got. The Battle of New York. Battle of New York.
Yeah.
Battle of New York.
It's so much better that and I was a little nervous at first when they announced that they were going to do the TV shows, because then you're thinking like, okay, it's going to be an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. type of situation, or this is going to be the Netflix Marvel stuff where they can't talk about it.
It kind of looked like we were going to get the Odd Couple and the Sidekicks.
Mm-hmm.
And that we did, but it was
in a really cool way. I like that specifically with WandaVision. What I like is that it set up these. Not only did it actually expand on the character, and both of these series have done really well with expanding the characters themselves, but this one expanded the character's power set and reestablished their kind of status quo. And it's also done that on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but like it established what magic is in the MCU and kind of some basic rules around it. And they're slightly different from what was established in the Doctor Strange movie.
Well,
but it's
as far as we
expanding
know with
on
Doctor
that.
Strange, magic's just a swirly portal thing, right?
Yeah.
So this really dove into like the concept that there are different magics, there are different entities and beings in this world that this show also is kind of the death kill or the kill strike for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because the Darkhold book did appear in that show apparently, but it looked different, and that kind of was the final that's not continuity.
Yeah, that's not continuity.
So Agent Coulson died that day on the helicarrier.
Yeah, we still don't know if he's really back or not.
Maybe Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was like a fever dream for like as he's dying. Like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just happened in his mind as he was dying.
He was just an LMD. And that was it. It was all just LMDs kind of walking around. But we can see it just over your shoulder. And if you're on the video feed, you can see it over Andrew's shoulder. He's got some of the artwork for the two shows, and we've got the new costume that the Scarlet Witch has, and it's finally this, and she's referred to as the Scarlet Witch. Like they're actually giving that title to her now. Which I think was absolutely fantastic. And she's got the kind of headdress on and everything.
I love that they gave the headdress like the magical reasoning behind it. Like it represents like her chaos. It's a crown of her chaos magic.
Mm-hmm.
What was really cool too about the show is like there's little threads from where it leaves off that actually is going to branch into future movies. Whereas like her character is going to pick up in Doctor Strange pretty much from where that left off with her in the cabin.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if the next shot is Doc Strange showing up at the cabin. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, spoilers, like he became Captain America, surprise. They announced as soon as it premiered that Captain America 4 is happening, and it's going to be featuring Sam Wilson. Now, there was rumors that there's like a Chris Evans Captain America project in the works, Nobody knows what it is, but they said that if there is, it's separate from this. So this is very much Sam Wilson's step up to Captain America.
For the sake of Sam Wilson's Captain America, I hope they don't have a Chris Evans Captain America component. I wouldn't mind an old man Cap maybe showing up and doing something, acting as a bit of
the show didn't definitively
guide,
say he died. Sorry, I didn't mean to overtalk.
That's okay. Go ahead.
So they were very specific to say he's gone, but they didn't say he's dead.
Yeah.
And then they kept having that running gag in a couple episodes where it's like somebody says, I thought he was on the moon. And that makes me think, does this tie into Secret Invasion or whatever's going on with Nick Fury with Sword or up on that space station? Because I feel like they're saying that for a reason. Like that was peppered in. It might not be. It might have been just a joke, but they said it one too many times. That makes me think there's something to that.
Yeah.
So maybe Old Man Cap is running a Secret Avengers or setting it up. Who knows? Like there's a few things that look like it's being set up here.
Mm-hmm.
The conclusion of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We have Sam ascends to Captain America. Love that costume.
Love it. It works so much better on film than it did in the comics.
It
really does. I was never a big fan of it in the comics, the whole thing, but seeing it on film for some reason, I was like, yeah, actually that works. That works so much better. It's one of those translations that just resonates.
Can I say that Anthony Mackie really stepped it up in his performance?
Mm-hmm.
Like I really found myself buying into everything he was saying. I thought the show expressed. I don't want to get political, but I felt that it really did cover certain issues really well.
Mm-hmm.
Highlighted them in a very realistic way without kind of flogging you with it, and I think that it does. I just love that Sam's compassion like shows that he is the true heir to the
Mm-hmm.
shield. Like he represents America now, where Steve represented the ideals and the American dream. Like this is now the Captain America now for this modern world.
Yeah.
I love that like when he was being revealed, it's like, oh, did the government give you the shield? Like, oh, who authorized you? And they're just like, hey, Black Falcon. It's so
yeah,
like like it sounds cheesy, but that's a very realistic response like that. And I did. It was a little cheesy, heavy-handed, where the kid's like, "Nah, man, that's Captain America," but like that's all we're thinking too at the same time. If we're being honest, right? Like, and I love that Sam finally just embraces it and just says, I don't care what you think, I am Captain America. Like he finally accepts the role, understanding what it means.
I thought that was a super powerful moment. And I loved how nonchalant he was when he first comes tearing through the glass and lands and throws the shield and gets it back. And everyone's like, who are you? He's like, I'm Captain America. And then he just keeps going. Like, come on, think twice, people. Who the fuck do I look like I am?
The action just looks so good with like the shield and the flight, and I love that he's got Red Wing back. He's got two of them now.
Yeah. Love that it's based on Wakandan technology, not Stark technology.
I was very happy about that. Although now we're getting a little heavy-handed in Wakandan technology, like.
But at least I have higher hopes that it's going to be stronger. So it's got some vibranium in it, maybe, so that it can withstand a little more. It won't be ripped apart.
We could talk about adamantium because I think that can exist now.
That would be cool if they were tipped in adamantium.
Discovered in the Arctic, Canada.
His wings are tipped in it so they can actually slice through things easier. That would be pretty dope.
But
that's not gonna happen.
If I had one, no, not at all. But if I had one complaint about the show, it would be the heavy-handed Sharon Carter turn.
Yeah,
I'm like, first they made it very obvious. Like I predicted, as I'm sure many did, that she's the power broker.
Yeah, the surprise, no surprise, she's the power broker.
And there was after the Shang-Chi trailer, or Shang-Chi. I really I really was hoping that the Mandarin was actually the power broker, just as like another way to tie that into the greater MCU, and maybe somebody could have thought of that at some point, but didn't.
Mhm.
Um, I find this heel turn for Sharon Carter to be strange.
It seems really out of character.
So like, does this tie into Secret Invasion? Could she be a scroll version of Sharon Carter? Like, but then would she be? I mean, she used like the shield face disguise technology. So like, is a scroll
Mhm.
really going to go to that level of?
Deception.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
Well,
It's one of those things that I didn't like about it. You knew it was coming, um, and
and
maybe
Peggy's
they'll
rolling in her grave.
yeah, maybe they'll expand on it for some reason. But like, why was she building super soldiers? Was she just trying to like destroy the memory of Cap, or like she never seemed the person, the little exposure we had to her to begin with.
Yeah,
I mean, they didn't do much justice to the character before right now anyway. Um, but the exposure that we had didn't lead us to think that she would be a power hungry, megalomaniacal, I want to tear this world down type of
yeah. Like,
character.
I would have thought then she should have just aligned with Hydra and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's too close to being a Hydra mechanic, and Madripoor is like in the
like,
comics
like
pretty in bed with Hydra, isn't it?
yeah, I don't know if it's Hydra, but it's in bed with everything illegal.
Yeah. So
It's a dark place. So I don't like. I
AIM,
get that she was on
Hydra,
the.
all that shit is kind of
I guess she was
rampant
on the
there.
Lamb, but so is Nick Fury. He didn't fucking go
Yeah.
dark side
Doesn't
on it. Like
it
it's
doesn't
I
make
don't know.
sense.
It's like he kissed me, then ran off to live with a parallel universe version of my aunt. It's like she's that jilted. Like I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little weird. The other, just to get back to it, so WandaVision was great. It had that great kind of wrap up. I don't think we'll go too much into it because it's got I think the continuation of that story is in the Doctor Strange stuff, like you mentioned.
Did we talk about White Vision though? I don't
We
recall if
mentioned
we
it at the
did.
end of our last that we were looking forward to seeing because Bettany said he was really excited for his thing, and it was just him acting against himself.
Yeah.
Um, so it'll be
Can I
really
say I
cool to
enjoyed
see
that?
the new Vision, and now that he doesn't have the emotional attachment to these people, but has all the memories of
Well,
the things.
the rumor is that the Vision is actually getting his own show on Disney Plus.
Oh,
So I think he's going to be explored a little that way.
and I imagine
Um,
they'll do the Tom King Vision kind of component where he builds his own family and tries to live in that kind of thing, which I'm not going to comment on it because I've said, "Oh, I'm not looking forward to this," and then I've found out that I've really
I'm just gonna
enjoyed
say
it.
I don't want anything based on Tom King. So that's
Well, you got your wish at
you
least.
got it's not happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. So
But Falcon in that, like, it's got this has been kind of a much better. I'm really happy with the format for this one because it gave Sam was already a really cool character from the movies, but this gave him the full kind of character treatment where you got to get into his full character arc, not just as running beside Cap and being his go-to and everything like that. Like, this was more about his family, more about his background, more about the racism and his social struggles that made him the character he is, and such a fantastic um new Captain America, like for the new age, like you say. Like, it gave you all of that background. Some of it was subtle, some of it was blatant, but it felt more realistic. And the thing that I've really appreciated about this show specifically, same with WandaVision, although they did it very differently, but what it is it's expanding your understanding of the Marvel universe, and it's giving you, and I think we mentioned this in the last show, it's giving you the background of kind of what is the political environment, what is the social environment, what is the world of the MCU, like where you've got super people running around, where you've got half a planet that vanishes and then comes back. What kind of chaos does living in a world like that actually bring you? And this is doing that great job of actually pulling those threads out and giving you the beats across it to really say, this is the status quo. This is how similar it is to our world, and this is how fantastical it is versus our world. And I fucking love that. It's so much better on film than it is in the comics, because in the comics it's just fantastical, everything's going crazy. It's comics, you know. We've got Galactus will show up and we'll have the ultimate nullifier, and that'll tell him to fuck off, and he won't come back because he's afraid we're going to use it. This is like half the world vanished and they all came back because of a mad god.
Yeah.
What does that do? I love it. I love that kind of stuff. Like it's actually giving you the background. It's America is, and we live in Canada, but this is what the political climate is like in this country. And it's so similar to what it's like in most Western countries. And this is kind of the ramifications of all of our years of history. And this is his speech at the end resonated so well with me. I was just sitting there like, holy shit, that is a great speech. The writers did such a fantastic job. Anthony Mackie did such an amazing job delivering it. It didn't come across as preachy. It didn't come across as
it felt genuine.
It felt so genuine. And it just resonates. And the lines that kind of stuck out with me, or at least the sentiment, the paraphrasing that I'll do, is, are you going to surround yourself with people like you that are going to be the ones making the decisions, or are you going to surround yourself with the people who it's impacting? And I think that is what makes him Cap. That solidifies what makes him Cap. And it's I hate bullies. It's that mentality of, I hate bullies and I will stand up to whatever bully exists. And if you're going to be a bully, I don't care if it's an entire country. If you're being a bully, I'm standing up to you. I think that is the embodiment of what really is about Captain America. It's not it's not the Star Spangled, although that is obviously a big thing. It's the fundamental belief that really I'm out there to protect those with power, need to protect those that don't have it. And that's the whole purpose of governments. And that's the whole purpose of the heroes and things like that. It's to be the people that stand up for the little people, the quote unquote little people. That's my diatribe.
It's a good point. And I think what Disney Plus too, like, is going to enable Marvel to build up to events a lot faster. We used to have these little nuances and these little build up in like the post-credit scenes, and those still need to be a part of it, because I think the little stingers are very much part of the formula that makes Marvel work. But I think that this will enable it'll enable them to build that resonance with the characters before to set up these events a lot quicker. I love that meaningful characters can appear in the shows. Like I'm curious to see what they pour into Secret Invasion, because that very well could be a mini Avengers movie in series format, if they're doing it well.
Well, for sure.
I think we need Alpha Flight, man. I think we need to see Canada's government reaction to the blip.
And I think we'll get that more when they bring mutants in. I'm hoping that we get that more when they bring mutants in.
Well, I mean, there's a rumor that there's going to be an anthology Wolverine show that chronicles like different eras of his life. So like maybe from Weapon X to, to Alpha Flight to meeting the X-Men, like that might be an interesting story.
That would be really cool. That would be
and in
really
that
cool.
format, you'd really get to dive into the character, which is something that I don't think the movies have ever succeeded in doing.
No.
So it's man, there's just so many possibilities with this. Like, this format works.
It works so well, and I'm really looking forward to the Dark Avengers / Thunderbolts
so let's talk
/
about
Madam Hydra
/ like West Coast Avengers. Like, I feel like that they're kind of having, it's kind of a bit of a hybrid. I think it's hybrid of West Coast Avengers, Dark Avengers, or Thunderbolts. I think it's kind of like a mismatch of it all.
Hmm.
I mean, we've got U.S. Agent now, which, by the way, I love it. Like, I know that they kind of made it seem like he's going to be the villain, but he's more like just misguided.
Yeah.
Um, I loved. I look forward to seeing Walker fleshed out a little more as the U.S. Agent, because now this I think gives him a little more freedom to be be a little more rogue than he was under the Cap banner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, we got U.S. Agent, we got Scarlet Witch, we got White Vision. Like, Hawkeye's still lingering around somewhere there. Like, this is West Coast Avengers, man. Like,
Well, and we're going to have two Hawkeyes, just like in the
yeah.
comes. We can have the West
I
Coast and the
mean,
East Coast.
there's
So,
Young Avengers is clearly brewing. Like, we had, what was it? What is it? What is the Isaiah Bradley's grandson? He's Patriot. Is that what his name was in Young Avengers?
I don't remember. Maybe.
But I mean, the character's established. Like, there's a
Yeah.
reason he's there. We've seen Wanda's boys, who will clearly, by the time she finds them, will be aged up to Wiccan and what was it, Speed or whatever they call his name. I can't
Yeah, I
remember
can't
them,
remember.
but they've got Cassie Langley. They've very purposely set up all the young Avengers pretty much. Like, next, I'm sure, and Captain Marvel will get more introduction to the Kree, and
Mhm.
Hulkling is probably. I imagine he's going to somehow pop up in there. Um, so the Can you imagine, they set up West Coast Avengers, and they're kind of like this, like, Black Ops, almost like Dark Avengers, run by Madam Hydra there,
Mhm.
and they have to go. The Young Avengers kind of have to step up because the OG Avengers are nowhere are MIA right now.
I'm a little bit I'm on a different path than you on that one. I'm really hoping that they do more of a Thunderbolts, but not necessarily bringing in villains to pretend to be heroes. I want them to have heroes that have a little bit more darker lean to them.
Mhm.
And then it's more of that kind of, because they could do a quote unquote, even though I hate the fact that I'm going to say this, a Civil War II type of thing, where it's you've got the Sam Wilson and his Avengers, and then you've got US Agent and his Avengers, and they are more of the anti-hero type of stuff, the guys that'll step over the line, that'll do not only what they're told, but what they think is the right thing as opposed to the right thing. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
think I
that
think
would be
that would
cool.
be an interesting
Okay.
take on it, because we've got that. We've already established that US Agent, he will ultimately try and do the right thing. His methods are
Yeah.
completely fucked up. And that's more of because of his training, because of his his background and everything, and you're
Yeah.
going to have that divergent view. I think that would be a great kind of contrast to have. So thunderbolts that are made to feel like they're heroes, like a Squadron Supreme, where they are heroes, but they're not the heroes we want or need, that type of thing.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I love that it's all being set up, and it's all.
Anything's possible.
I love when you can see the design coming to life. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
what it's building up to, we don't know yet, but it's good. It's pretty cool regardless. I love that we're getting these, like, characters. I never thought we'd see US Agent,
No.
White Vision. Like, these are deep cut characters. Like,
And
yeah,
and
Madam
can we,
Hydra. Like,
Madam Hydra, can we just talk for 1 minute about how amazing it was to have Zemo in this?
he still stole the show. I even like how he dealt with the super soldiers.
Yeah.
It is like his Jeeves there just blew him up.
Just boop.
I even like how he, like, taunted them too. Like, he had the
Yeah.
guards say their slogan as he blows them up. Like, I'm just like, damn,
Zemo's
Darren Zemo.
he's hardcore. And he
Yeah, I
just
love it.
so nonchalantly goes off to Wakanda because he's like, yeah, fuck it. Sure.
I've
I'll
already
go.
got everything in place to deal with things.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got out of one prison. I'll get out of another one, I'm sure. I
No, I
thought that
wonder,
was
will he be disfigured at some point? That's what I'm wondering.
I don't know. I hope that we don't do too many disfigured villains. I think that's a little too heavy-handed. I would like the one and only disfigured villain, and I'm a little upset that they didn't take the opportunity to drop the name Latveria.
Oh, I know.
Like they had the opportunity there to just kind of
There
mention it.
must. My guess is that they did leave it in such a way that it hints at it.
Yeah.
So I almost wonder if like at the time of production, if the legal tape was still kind of being all dealt with, like in terms of like because they've only done subtle hints to Fantastic Four, but not
Mhm.
direct hints at it, and I feel like that might be just legal stuff being worked out still. I
Maybe.
think by next year is when we're really going to start to see, like they've announced that there's an X-Men movie mute. I mean, I don't think they're going to call it the mutants. I really don't. But the first X-Men movie that's going to happen, the Fantastic Four is already announced, so like it's just basically that's the Spider-Man director's next movie.
Mhm.
So
I would just would have loved even just a subtle hint of, and even over in Eastern Europe, we've got people that are, some kind of hint to Doom. Oh,
why
I
is it
can't, I
dictated?
can't wait to see Doom in this and just how fucking badass he's gonna be.
Well, we're getting Kang the Conqueror in
Hmm.
I think was it Captain Marvel 2? I can't remember which movie it is, but he's been announced.
Was it Captain Marvel or was it in on the Ant-Man one?
Oh, maybe it's Ant-Man. I'm not sure.
I can't remember, but they did announce it. Yeah.
He's announced. Like we're getting really into these deep cut characters, man.
Oh, I can't wait. Doom. As soon as we get Doom in here, like
Could you
that's gonna
imagine?
throw the political landscape.
Could you imagine the tease of something like Galactus? Like
Oh,
it'd be like in the stingers, they would have like just like it's coming, and just like
yeah.
what's coming.
Hmm.
I would love to
Oh,
see that, and then you have the Fantastic Four show up.
I
I really
love.
want to see. I really want to see the street level get fleshed out next.
Hmm.
I would love to see like the Great New World. I would love to see a fight scene where it's like Shang-Chi, Iron Fist, Daredevil, Spider-Man, Punisher, Ghost Rider, all fighting like the Hand.
I would think that the perfect vehicle to introduce some of the street level stuff would be in a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah,
Um,
to hint at it, tip at it, and then
and
branch
then
off from there.
branch off from there because he's Spider-Man. I'd hope he doesn't ever join the Avengers in the films and stuff because
He
I
kind of has, so I hope he doesn't go back. Like I hope I kind of don't want him to be an Avenger.
that's the thing. I don't want him. He works so much better as the street level kid, and he's so young that I think that's where he needs to stay and deal with the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I think that needs to get fleshed out more than the globe-trotting Spider-Man.
Absolutely, yeah. Let's go back to New York for a change.
Yeah. Although, and I love the fact that that's exactly where Falcon and the Winter Soldier goes.
Yeah.
Of all the places, they've been globetrotting, they've been here, they've been there, and they've got to have their final battle in New York
Yeah,
because it's Marvel.
yeah, yeah. Everything takes place in New York.
Hmm. Um, just before we wrap up, I do want to say the power broker stuff. I'm okay ignoring. I loved the end of this changing the title. As small as it is, I think it's so impactful. Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
It's not going to be a buddy cop type thing. It's Captain America and his sidekick.
yeah.
I think that is amazing.
Well, I love the evolution of their relationship, and I love that the show acknowledges his transition to Captain America with the title card.
Mhm.
And I think like we could be ending up getting a Bucky show on his own. Like I think to further explore who Bucky Barnes is post Winter Soldier, because I think that's a title he wants to. I think he wants to drop. I think he's time. It's time for him to move on
Mhm.
from that. So whether he becomes Nomad or something like that, maybe that they do something. Take a you know poach and take pieces from Captain America lore, right? Maybe make him nomad. I like that the Wakandans call him White Wolf as like a symbolic thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he needs to step out of the shadow of the Winter Soldier now at this point, as he's made amends, as the him finishing the book signifies.
I loved that moment where Sam takes his kind of vet experience and kind of lays it on the line with, because we were introduced to Sam as the guy that worked in the vet hospital, helping people deal with their stuff. And I love that he kind of does that therapeutic kind of conversation with them, but in a very like, okay, I'm taking the kid gloves off here. You weren't actually trying to fix things. You were going out as acts of vengeance and avenging things that you had done. That's not the same thing as actually, fixing yourself. Mm-hmm. So if you want to fix yourself, you got to put in the work. And I love that was him acknowledging it as much to himself as it was talking to Bucky.
Yeah, no, it was good. The show, I think, handled that stuff really, really well. And I'm looking forward to Captain America 4.
Mm-hmm. I think it'll be absolutely fantastic. If you guys have opinions and thoughts on it, definitely send us an email or comment on the website. Send an email to terminalvelocitypodcast@gmail.com or terminalvelocitypodcast.com. You can leave a comment there.
And if you think Michael Keaton should be the new Batman for the DCEU, you can tweet us at Comics Terminal, and we'd love to hear it.
Yeah. And until next time, we will talk to you guys later, where I think next week we're actually going to get back into a comic, talking a little bit about a book, and I believe it's an oldie but a goodie that we're revisiting, and we're taking a step outside of Marvel the next week, and I think we're getting into the DC universe.
Well, until next time.
Until then, bye.